The Oscars, the Annies, the Golden Globes, the Razzies, the Game Awards. Everybody loves the awards season, but not everyone knows the smaller award shows. Those who are more limited get sophisticated voting pool. And one such award show is the Los Angeles Film Critics Association. Now, I haven't paid much attention to this show at all, especially when there's bigger fish to fry, but in my friend's Discord server, one person posted about how Little Emily won Best Anime Feature at that year's ceremony. So I decided that it would be fun to marathon all the stuff that won it. From its start in 1989 with The Little Mermaid, to the most recently with... guess. Now, I am covering these movies who won the award, not the runner-ups. If you want to see me rank those, I don't know, give me enough views and maybe I'll consider it. Also, this will be split into 4 parts to not make me slowly go mad. And obviously, I am ranking these from worst to best. Keep in mind, this is all my personal opinion. If you have different thoughts than me, or if you think I misrepresented a movie you like, you're more than welcome to disagree with me. Oh, maybe you can make your own video on the subject. I'd like to see that. Please do. I like it. Please. I'm desperate. Please! and without further ado, let's begin the ranking. Also, spoiler alert for every single one of these movies. So, if you haven't seen any of these movies, go watch them. And then formulate your own opinion. Let's start out with the only movie in this whole batch I'd consider bad. That being Happy Feet. Which is a shame because it has potential to be a decent or even good movie. The world building is solid, it's showing how the society of these penguins work. There are several shots that are a feast to look at. The song covers and dance sequences are genuinely pretty good with the way they were sung and choreographed. And there's a whole sequence at the zoo, and even when Bumble Happy Feet comes back to Antarctica, by the way, that's his full name.
You, Mumble Happy Feet!
It's a really good sequence of events. But it's such a shame that, for the most part, it feels like a cluttered mess that can commit to a single theme that just juggles everything pretty poorly. The annoying Hispanic stereotype penguins don't help matters at all. But the biggest issue in the film is the annoying Hispanic stereotype penguins, but a close second is the ending, where just because the penguins dance, the whole world, every single country is like, yeah, let's not fish anymore, cruel, it's that, which is just horrifically unrealistic and overly idealistic. It just took me out the film altogether. Overall, Happy Feet may not be the worst thing in the world, but it's extremely bleh. If I wanted to watch a CGI bird movie directed by someone known for live action films, distributed by Warner Bros. And animated by Analogic, I just watched Owls of Gapul. And yeah, I don't think it should have won the award, obviously. I haven't seen Paprika yet, but I think it probably deserved the award more. And other films I have seen, I would have picked A Scanner Darkly over this film. But it will only go up from now on, because this is the only genuinely bad film on this list, like I said earlier. Now on to the films that I consider alright to decent. For the past several months now, I've gotten myself really into anime films as a whole, whether it be old ones or new ones, mainstream or independent. There are plenty I love and cherish, equally as many I don't like, but I hesitate to call most of them pretentious. I Lost My Body, on the other hand, get his hand, yeah, sorry, I couldn't get into this one. Like, nothing in it was bad, but it was just a bunch of melodrama I don't care for, barely any themes, the brief talk about destiny or whatever. I don't care for the guy and his love quest, I don't care about the hand, I just generally could not get into this movie, despite how many people declare it to be a masterpiece of some sort. Honestly, if you ask me, I would have definitely given the award to Klaus, because Klaus is a genuine masterpiece that has something to say. I like to hear what so many people see in I Lost My Body, because as it stands, I don't get it.
You're a 40-year-old, single, moderately successful comedian with ants in his car.
A Bug's Life is similarly mid. I don't care about the main character, I don't care about the circus bugs, except for maybe the Capra, he was alright. And I certainly don't care for the whole liar reveal bit. The only thing I can really highlight about the whole movie is that Hopper is a surprisingly effective antagonist, and his monologue at the middle is pretty great. But other than that, it's certainly one of the weaker Pixar movies. I think even people who like this movie would agree that the Prince of Egypt deserved to win more. I will say, in terms of mid-90s CGI ant movies, it's better than Ants.
There are no heroes in war, only survivors.
To be honest, the film I was the most scared to watch in this cult batch is Waltz with Bashir. I've heard plenty of takes about how this movie is either a great documentary, a piece of Israeli propaganda, and all that. And given I have little experience in terms of geopolitics, I was honestly afraid to tackle this movie in fear of misrepresenting things. Now that I have watched it, was it enthralling or offensive? I mean, it was kind of both, a hint of neither. Here's the thing. When it came to interviewing the former soldiers who were in the Lebanon War that aren't the film's director Ari Folman, it was effective in showing how young and naive they were, and how the war and the government destroyed them mentally, and how they very much regret their actions and saw the horrors. However, when it comes to the main guy in this documentary, the film's director Ari Folman, as mentioned earlier, I don't know, I feel like the whole thing about him having amnesia about the war isn't really communicated all that well. It kind of sours the film knowing he was still part of the army 20 years after the massacre. Then the animation isn't exactly handsome. They're trying to go for a rotoscope style, but it's just no Richard Linklater movie. The biggest issue with the whole documentary is that for some odd reason they didn't get any Palestinian people or survivors of the massacre to be interviewed. The closest we get is archival footage of the event at the end. I am not sure why they didn't want to do this, but whatever reason it is, it undersells the movie and almost makes it one-sided. Though, to be fair, this isn't a movie that tries to justify the actions, more so an exploration of the people who, willingly or not, were part of said actions. I think it's safe to say that there is an anime documentary that's far better and far higher on this list. It definitely didn't deserve to win over WALL-E, one of my favorite films of all time. Overall, better than I expected, but I'm not a fan regardless.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
I know this might be controversial, but trust me guys, I really wanted to love Your Name as much as everyone else does. For the first 40 minutes or so, I was really into the body swap story and how Taki and Mitsuko go around living as each other, going through difficulties and trying to make each other's lives better. Everything is going perfectly well and charming, and it's revealed that Mitsuko was actually for 3 years in the past, and the comet she was waiting to see gave birth to a meteor that destroyed her whole village, and they've gone cross-eyed. But wait! It gets dumber! For some reason, despite not knowing the name of the town, or Mitsuka's name for that matter, Taka remembers how the town vividly looks like, and goes on a wild goose chase trying to find it. Then discovers there's some magic juice in the shrine, and he goes back in time to send Mitsuka to evacuate the town, but her father doesn't listen because reasons and blah 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 blah. And then the two characters finally meet each other and ask to write their names so they don't forget. But Taki, for some stupid reason, decides not to write his name on her hand and instead writes, "I love you," because this is a romance now. And then Sokka goes to town and evacuate despite probably not having enough time to do so. And then 5 years after Taki's time, the two characters meet each other and ask their names and... This was very clearly the first draft. I mean, if the people behind it focused on expanding what worked about the first 40 minutes, giving themes that correlate with its premise, and actually made it make sense, it would have been an easy contender for the top 20 of this list, maybe even top 10. But as it stands, it's a mess. An overall alright mess, I guess, but a mess nonetheless. And before you guys claim that I am not giving Makoto Shinkai enough of a chance, 1, apparently he isn't that big of a film himself, and 2, I watched Suzume way before starting the marathon, and that film was generally spectacular, so I was very disappointed when I thought his most famous work wasn't very good. Anyways, I would have given the award to Kubo and the Two Strings, as like WALL-E, it is among one of my favorite films of all time. Now that we're out of the alright slash okay territory, it's finally time for the good movies. Starting with...
My dog is dead!
Frankenweenie is a cute little movie, and that's really about it. There's not much to say. I like Victor's model Sparky, I like the size teacher, I like the climax of all the other resurrected bits. It's a fun little movie. It doesn't have a whole lot of depth, and the whole hiding the dog thing is a little tiring, but it's still fun. Definitely would have preferred the Paranorman one, since that's a similar stop-motion horror film that came out around that time, but I can't be mad at Frankie Winnie winning. It's a fun movie, and a pretty good tribute to classic horror films. Definitely check it out.
Was that the bike of 87?
Similarly, The Triplets of Belleville is another fun movie. Not much I can talk about here other than the fact that it was fun. The grandma in her quest to get her son back is fun. The dog is fun. The titular triplets are fun. The style the movie is going for is fun. The climactic chase scene is fun. I will say sometimes the movie can get a little bit confusing, and I'm not a fan of the ending shot. Other than that, fun movie. I'll watch it. I would have preferred the Finding Nemo one, but this is still a fun movie. Go have fun with it.
Ho, ho, ho. We meet again, Jesus.
Okay, so you'd assume, like most versions of this award, that the LA critics would solely award full-length movies. And while for the most part they did, there were 4 years where they awarded or co-awarded a short movie. 1993 with Mighty River, 1996 with a combination of all the Nick Park Arment shorts at that time, and 1997 and 1998. They're both co-wins between one movie and one short. The first of which being in 1997, with the movie being Hercules and the short being The Spirit of Christmas, or otherwise known as Jesus vs. Santa, the progenitor to the long-running show we know as South Park. And yeah, it definitely is a good pilot for the short. It has the big boys, Kenny dies, Brian Botano's here, he was also in the movie. The movie is great, by the way, you should watch it. And it has a good ending punchline.
Christmas is about something much more important. What? Presents.
Overall, good short. I can't really rank any higher. Well, check it out if you're a fan of South Park. Next up, we'll start with the genuinely great stuff.
More from our reporter on the scene.
Creature Comforts is a simple short all about animals being interviewed at the zoo using archival interview audio. It's a great short. Not much more to say. It's free on the official Creature Comforts YouTube channel. Go check it out. Do you expect me to talk about it for like 5 hours or something? It's like a 5-minute short at max. I mean, come on. I don't like The Rescuers. It was cheap feeling animation, uninteresting story, uninteresting side characters, and a villain that's borderline self-plagiarism. If it counts for this list, it ranks second to last. I am shocked how well regarded that movie is. Almost as shocked as how many people genuinely think that it's better than its sequel Down Under. Because holy piss, Down Under is an improvement in every way. For starters, it is the first movie to be made entirely digitally, and it shows how much it used the new tech to make one of the most gorgeously animated films ever made. Not to mention the villain is far superior. First of all, Steve McLeish blows that stupid ass Krill the villain knockoff out of the fucking sky. Also, I generally can't understand why people think the kid in this film is the stupidest kid out there. Yeah, sure, some of his decisions may be a little bullshit, but he's a child. Sometimes childs could be like that. Plus, in the front number case, he does the best he could in the situations he's stuck in. And also, the mice are far better at being rescuers than the original, and the albatross is a lot funnier. God damn it, why don't enough people like this movie? I will admit, the whole love triangle subplot is a bit ham-fisted, and the albatross doesn't do a whole lot in this movie, and I wish he was, because he was pretty funny. But this was still a very, very blastful movie. It's beautiful, it's engaging, it has an echidna. It's epic! Come on, this movie is epic! Definitely deserved the award because no other anime film came out that year that's better. Damn, what a blast.
Tonight, through the medium of the animated cartoon, we present a murder mystery condensed from authentic criminal records.
Is the second of the two co-winning shorts. This one in 1988, winning alongside A Bug's Life, and is the only entry in this whole batch to not have its own dedicated Wikipedia page. It's a great little short about a murder mystery being told backwards with a really effective Art Deco style to it. Go experience it for yourself if you're a fan of non-linear storytelling. I don't have much to say. Go check it out and see for yourself.
No worries. If I can convince everyone in this town that I'm a hero, I can certainly convince audiences that a guy named Army Hammer can be an action star.
Rango is an extremely fun Western movie. Despite its very realistic look, it still looks spectacular even 15 years later. The characters are all fun and memorable, like the Tincture Chameleon, to his love interest Bees, to Rail Sneak Jig, to even the characters with a small presence like the Cactus Mouse and the Turkey with the arrow in his eye, and the Mole Ben, and so on and so forth. Not to mention the whole theme about authenticity really fits well with the Western setting. It can get a little tiring in the middle, and occasionally there is some not so funny quip.
That was a bad idea.
But other than that, it's a great time. Would have preferred if Tintin won, but I can live with this movie winning. Check it out if you can. Well, that's it for today. Join us next time when I'll talk about Disney, and figure out where Bugs Bunny Lost in Time will rank in this list. And remember, this has been brought to you by Myth Productions.